I think that we have now learned in our society that regulating big corporations and regulating wealthy folks is an exercise in futility. It'll work for a while, but those folks have the incentive and the resources to work around it, to evade them.
The hearings last week, J.P. Morgan Chase continuing to take these risks. Yeah.
Stunning. It's as if the whole meltdown of 2008 and 9 hadn't happened, as if all the risk-taking can continue and all the massaging of the internal rules of the banks can be manipulated, all of that. It seems to me we've learned the lesson that regulation is usually coming too late after, in a sense, the disaster has happened. And then it is evaded and avoided and watered down. It doesn't work. And we have to learn the lesson. So I would respond by saying, we have to make a more basic change. Instead of constantly coming too late to the regulation activity, let's change the way decisions are made so we don't have to be constantly after people regulating them in this kind of sad effort that never quite succeeds. Let's change the basic decision.
I thought Glass-Steagall worked fairly well from the time it was enacted in the Depression with Roosevelt to 1999 when Bill Clinton and Congress repealed it.
Well, I don't want to get into a dispute with you, Bill. I think
Go right ahead, everybody else does.
I think there was a long history of evasion. In other words, ways were found in the 60s and 70s, long before the repeal. Ways were found by banks, setting up investment banks, setting up new financial institutions to get around, if not the letter, then certainly the intent of that kind of regulation. When it was found possible politically, first to weaken Glass-Steagall and then eventually to repeal it, well, that was even better. But basically, the minute the regulation was set, the regulated industries took it as a problem to be solved. Then they hired the economists like me, the accountants, the lawyers, and all the other specialists to figure out how to get around it.
And armies of lobbyists, let's face it.
Armies of lobbyists to make sure that the laws get massaged and the rules get adjusted so that they can get around it. That's why we keep having financial scandal after financial scandal, hearings after hearings. After a while, when you keep doing this, you realize that even if you get some benefit, and I see your point, from a regulation for a while, it's only a matter of time. And now that the corporations have gotten really good at getting around it, the time for them has been reduced. And so we're back to the question, isn't there a better way than letting them do their thing and coming late to the table with another regulation?